Hello YouTube, Lyricide17 here, but you can just call me Travis, and welcome back for another collection update. I know I've been gone for several weeks. I feel like I've missed 2 updates, I believe. I apologize for that. It's been a combination of both being busy and also being lazy. So anyway, I got one here on Saturday for you. As I have missed a couple weeks, the stuff's been piling up, so I have all of the CDs in this update, and then tomorrow I'll do another video with all the tapes, and I'm doing lots of hand movements right now. Anyway, let's get going so this video is not super long. In the background, we're listening to RoadRash, although we're listening to the tape, the CD version. Awesome kind of punky thrash speed metal stuff from British Columbia, Canada. Cool stuff. Alright, first up, a couple new releases. This is a band that I had listened to some last year. They had released an album in 2016, and I don't know, for whatever reason, I didn't really take for me. I really liked the vocalist in this band. Her vocals are awesome, but for whatever reason, the guitars and stuff didn't really kick it for me. But I was listening to their new release, and I was like, it was one of those times where, you revisit a band and all of a sudden it clicks for you for whatever reason. You're like, I don't know why I didn't like this before. This rocks. And so it was perfect timing because the CDs had just come out on Dive Bomb Records, and so I picked up the one that just came out, and then they released one in January. So yeah, this is the one that came out in January. This is Substratum. I don't think I said the name of the band yet because I suck. Substratum. They're a traditional heavy metal band from my neck of the woods, Seattle, Washington. This is Permission to Rock, and this is their newer one that just came out like March 23rd, I think. Stratosphere. This one is listed as an EP, but it's like 33 minutes long and some change, and it does have a cover on it. But even if you remove the cover, it's still technically over 30 minutes long. So even if you remove the cover, 5 tracks, 30 minutes, I consider that a full-length album. 6 songs, including a cover, 33 and change. That's a full-length album to me. So, in my opinion, they've released 2 full-length albums this year, so that's awesome. Also ordered their self-titled full-length and a T-shirt of the Permission to Rock. Off of Bandcamp, so that'll be arriving soon. Anyway, into the music. Awesome stuff. The riffs are great. Solos are pretty solid. I wish they were a little bit better, but maybe my tastes are a bit higher. My taste for what I wanted is different than what these guys are doing, but they're doing solid stuff regardless. The vocals are awesome. She has a really kind of a gravelly-ness to her voice, which I really enjoy. Good stuff. Really good energy. Yeah, I don't know. Does that ever happen to you guys? You listen to something again, and you're like, "How did I miss it the first time?" Well, it happens to me all the time. So that's why I often will revisit something that I previously. There's the band there. That I previously have disliked, because oftentimes I will. We'll find out that I was mistaken, because I think that probably for at least me personally, oftentimes just mood and other things are a big factor in maybe what I'm interested in, which I think is very likely to be true. As right now I'm just like I'm listening to obviously tons of stuff all the time. But right now, I am like so super into synthwave stuff. I've ordered several things, as you'll be seeing it as it arrives. But just super into it, and it just feeds on itself. But yeah. Anyway, glad to have I'm glad that I kept on with this and checked this album out, because really was pleased with it. I would say that all the albums are kind of a little different in terms. I really haven't. Taking a look at the members to see if they're different. They probably maybe have different members or not. But this one kind of has like a more of a, there's kind of a rockness to it, or like a classic rock. I don't know, classic rock probably isn't right. More kind of like just like a blues rock feel to this one, more so than this one. Which this one feels a little bit more like you know, like a traditional new wave of British heavy metal kind of sound. And I'll talk about the first one in a Rise, but that one kind of has more like a thrash kind of sound to it, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, cool stuff. Substratum. If you're into traditional heavy metal and you want to check out some newer bands, give these guys a shot because you might be into them. All right, next one up. This one actually is a bit of a grail for me, mostly just in terms of the willingness to pay money for it. This is the last album, studio album, that I did not have for this band, one of my favorites. And, you know, it's just a matter of, you know, waiting for the right price, which never really, it pretty has been holding pretty steady. So, it's finally a matter of just let's suck it up and just order it. And so I finally did, and that's, this is Sigh, Infidel Art. If you're not familiar with Sigh, there we go, that's not bad. Oh, they are a Japanese, very progressive, avant-garde black metal band. This is their second album, 1995. This is actually a Mort Productions reissue from 2012, maybe. I knew I was already going to pay a little bit for it, so I was decided to, what the hell, and spring just a little bit more. I went for the double disc version. The second disc is the original mix of the original mixing of the album, and then it has like a bonus track on it of a different recording of live or something. I only listened to the second disc one time, but anyway, also I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed the fact that it came in this double CD. Great album. Like I said, if you're not familiar with Sigh, super progressive. Even as, I mean, the first album was probably their most like kind of straightforward black metal, but even then they were, you know, they were already doing some stuff. But already on the second album, they're like going all over the place. A lot more keyboards on this album than the first one. Gives it kind of a very kind of like at times epic kind of feel to it, and also sort of like a CD evilness to it. Cool stuff. You know, Miura Kamishima is a genius as far as I'm concerned, and yeah, not that he's the sole member of the band, but obviously he's, or maybe not obviously, but he is, you know, a prominent member of the band. Let me show you some stuff. I think one of the things I like about Sigh is that they, first off, I love the black metal, and then I love the progressiveness and the willingness to just kind of like do anything. But I also think that they have a pretty good blend of like throwing in traditional heavy metal elements into their sound, which I really enjoy. In particular, some of the latter era albums are very specifically very heavy metal influenced. But yeah, really happy to finally complete my my Sigh full-length album discography, or you know, studio albums at least, because they have a couple live albums and then another one that's like a tribute to Venom or something like that. I don't really count those really as like, you know, full-length albums, that, you know, like I said, so studio albums. I think 11 in all they have. So anyway, really happy to finally get the final puzzle piece in place. Second disc in the back. So yeah, more productions. And then the seller actually sent me a free CD. This is Coprolith. It's a Finnish kind of black and death metal band, I think. I only listened to a couple tracks of this and then kind of moved on. It's not that it was bad, it just was whatever. I'll listen to it at some point. It has the Obi strip on it. I won't take this out and show you because, like I said, I didn't really even listen to it. But that was cool. Since I was already plopping down some change, it was kind of cool to get a freebie thrown in there. So that was cool. Next up, this is a band that was shown recently by Pat Ground Zero Salem. This was in his proto metalcore versus what was it? I can't remember what the other genre was, but this was obviously in the proto metalcore. This is I think it's Nema or period dot Nema or something like that. Because it has, let's see, it has a period before the end. And then it's almond backwards. This is cool stuff. Specifically, when he was talking about them, he kind of noted that they had kind of like a black metal influence on them, and then played a clip from the song Lidless Eye, which was immediately, ooh, that sounds awesome, and ordered this immediately just based on that. Kind of gave me like, you know, that song on Under the Sign of Hell by Gorgoroth. What is it? It's like Prophetens are Oppenburying or something. It's like the 4th track or whatever. And he kind of says, he does that kind of thing. Kind of reminded me of that. Which obviously that is, I love that. Probably my favorite Gorgoroth song, maybe. I don't know, I'd have to think about that. Anyway, pretty cool stuff. Very, you know, really fast, aggressive, hardcore stuff. Aggressive, you know, brash vocals. Yeah, cool stuff. This is a compilation that has like all of their material. Tracks 1 through 12 from the Bring Our Curses Home LP. This is the Bring Our Curses Home compilation. 13 through 14 is from the Split EP with Inept. 15 and 17, Split EP with Warfare State. And then 18 through 22, self-titled 7-inch. So yeah, cool stuff. Obviously, it's not like, I'm not like super in love with this or anything, but it's cool. I enjoyed it. It's nice for, you know, if you want to put on something to just kind of like get a blast of aggression and some energy. Cool stuff. Enjoyed it a lot. But the guy who I bought it from on Discogs, when he said that he was spilling it out, he was like, "This is some dark shit." I thought that was amusing. I mean, it is. It's got, you know, it's just some fast, blistering, angry, aggressive stuff. So yeah, Nema, Bring Our Curses Home. Alright, change of gears. No more metal. Let's talk about these three together. But been slacking for a while. For whatever reason, didn't pick any of this guy's stuff up, and decided to make a change in that department. 3 albums from Kendrick Lamar, rapper, if you're not familiar. This is Good Kid, m.A.A.d City. This one is To Pimp a Butterfly. And then this one is Damn. This one is 2012, 2012, 2015, and then last year. These two, I'd listened to these a lot. And then this one I'd actually never listened to before I just got it in. You know, I've been wanting to buy his stuff, and then I ended up with like some money at Amazon or wherever, like a credit, yeah. And so this Good Kid, m.A.A.d City was like way cheaper. It was like $7, so it was like pretty much free with the credits. So I decided, just what the hell, let's get all 3. Fix what I messed up by not. I've already purchased them. Good stuff. Really like Kendrick Lamar. Favorite tracks on this one, definitely m.A.A.d City. Awesome. The first half Soundwave beat is good stuff. Yeah, what else do I really like on this one? Actually, really, both halves of m.A.A.d City I like a lot, actually. But the first half, that Soundwave beat is just like, yes. That one, like, the first time through listening to this album, immediately I was like, this is my favorite track on the album. Awesome stuff. This one was the second one, like I said, To Pimp a Butterfly, 2015. Favorite tracks in this one, Black of the Berry, King Kunta, probably are my 2 favorite on this one. I also enjoy that spoken kind of slam poetry thing he does at the end there. HOV Bandit. Yeah, I really like his flow. He always seems Season 2 is really good production stuff. Works with Soundwave a bunch. Was glad to see that he continued that relationship in the album Damn. In fact, without actually looking at the actual, the stats or whatever, I think this might actually be the album where he works with Soundwave the most. I feel like I saw his name a lot more than I usually do. But actually, I would say my two favorite are DNA and Humble, the two that are like the Mike Will Made It tracks. Mike Will Made It is one of the best in the game right now, probably, in terms of productions that I like. But again, lots of Soundwave all over this, and he's someone who I generally always appreciate his stuff. But yeah, can't argue with Kendrick, man. One of the best right now. He has really distinct voice sound, which that's one of the things I think that I always kind of gravitate towards is really strong. Not only strong, like kind of flows or oomphs in their voice, but just kind of the unique sounding voices too. So yeah, really happy to finally not be a horrible person and pick up those 3 albums. So yeah, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, and then finally Damn by Kendrick Lamar. You probably have, if you're listening to rap, you probably have already listened to those, so not telling you anything new. Alright, let's move into a little more pop electronica area. This first one's actually a soundtrack. This is the soundtrack to It Follows, performed by Disasterpeace, who I was not familiar with previous to watching this movie. This movie came out in like 2014, I think, and I just finally got around to watching it last year because I never really watch movies that much anymore outside of my wife and I try to do kind of a weekly movie night thing. It usually ends up being like maybe every other week or every third week, but we do pretty good. But outside of that, I don't really do a whole lot of movies outside of like ones where I definitely need to go to the theaters to see it. It's like I saw Black Panther, I saw The Last Jedi. That's like the only things I've seen in the theaters this year, I think. Last Jedi wasn't even this year, so anyway, I watched this on Netflix sometime last year, and really enjoyed it. The movie, by the way, I really liked it. Had a lot of hype behind it, and I think it lived up. I really liked it. I thought it was good. But the music in the movie stuck out to me a lot. Very electronic, very synthy. Lots of like really droney, evil tones. He picks up the tempo a lot, which I think really does a really good job of creating suspense. Lots of like really shrill notes and stuff like that. I think he did a really good job of creating a cool, menacing soundtrack. It also, like I said, I've been listening to tons of synthwave and stuff. I really feel like this works just as if I don't listen to it as like a soundtrack. If I just listen to it as a album, I think it works just as well. Cool stuff. When the credits hit, and it said the music was done by Disasterpeace, I was expecting like a Edgar Marvinberg or it's just like a dude's name. And so when it said by Disasterpeace, I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I looked it up, found out he was an electronic artist, and put this on the old wish list, and then finally decided to pull the plug since I was all of a sudden now into synthwave a bunch. So happy to finally get this. Really into it. Like it a lot. I've listened to this a lot more. It Follows soundtrack by Disasterpeace. This is a electropop artist I came across on Bandcamp. This is a perfect example of album cover marketing. I saw this album cover and knew that I needed to listen to it immediately. This is Nightclub. I don't think this really shows as hot pink as it is, but this is Nightclub with Requiem for Romance. This is a two-piece electropop artist from LA. Emily Kavanaugh on vocals, and Mark Brooks is the guy doing the music. Really cool, very poppy, electropop, like I said. Cool stuff, very kind of electronic beats, as might be obvious. Really like the songs Dear Enemy, Bad Girl, Dangerous Heart, that's probably my 3 favorite, but I like them all. I think they have a few more albums. I will definitely have to go check those ones out, because I will probably like them as well. But I think this is our newest one. I think this came out in 2016. Anything under the, nothing under the tray. But yeah, cool stuff. Came with a couple buttons. Which, you know, it's kind of funny when I first was starting to, you know, I never really, I always kind of thought buttons were dumb, but you know, recently since I've been starting to get more and more of them, I've had a sea change. All of a sudden, I think they're kind of cool. So that was cool to get those, and then a sticker. So yeah, Nightclub. Like as always, links for everything down below. So yeah, been in, like I said, super into pop. This was a long overdue release, needing to be picked up. And this is Inside Out by DeLuna. If you're not familiar with DeLuna is a pop artist, definitely in kind of like the dance pop genre. She's from New York, I believe. This is her 2010 release. Been needing to pick this album up since about 2010. Back when I first was starting to get into pop music, DeLuna was one of the first artists that I came across that I really liked. Her first album, 9 Lives, great. Actually, I accidentally bought an extra copy of it many years ago, so if you're randomly watching this, do you want it, let me know, I'll give it to you. Loved her first album because I was obsessed with Red One, who is a music producer. And you probably know him. He did like most of the really big tracks off of Lady Gaga's first album, like Poker Face, Just Dance, you know, Paparazzi. Did he do Paparazzi? I think he did Paparazzi too. I'm not totally sure, but he did like most of the songs on the album, and you know, several songs on her second, like almost all of them. Bad Romance, Alejandro. You know, very involved with her career. Has been less involved the last couple albums, especially on Joanne, but nonetheless, became obsessed with him as a producer. I really follow him, try to listen to a lot of the stuff that he does. So anyway, he did a lot of the production, almost all of the songs on DeLuna's first album, 9 Lives, and so I wanted to definitely check out this one when it was coming out. And back around that time, I was a heavy user of Kazaa, and also randomly, Kazaa was like a weird hotbed for like unreleased pop tracks and like alternate take versions. I don't know why, but it just was. And for whatever reason, I came across an alternate version from a song on here. The song Oh Yeah La La La, which by the way is a terrible title. The song that I came across was a song called Everybody Dance. And that song is one of my all-time favorite pop tracks of all time. I think if you go on my Last FM, it's my second most played by far. The first two are quite ahead of the other ones. And so yeah, I think for whatever reason, the fact that the real version wasn't the one that was my favorite kind of had me like kind of like a mental block from buying this album for whatever reason. And finally decided to get over that and pick this up. Very happy to do so. Awesome stuff on here. Only got 2 different producers going on. Half of it, maybe about, yeah, probably about half. Done by Red One, who I just mentioned. And then the other one is done by, what's the other group's name? It's, sorry, 86 in Tyrone. This is, as you can see, because yes, I am willing to admit that I paid probably like, I don't know, $7 more for the Obi strip just because I'm a collector scum, but I really am happy that I did because it's really, I don't know if it doesn't really come across, but it's really, oh, there we go. It's really glittery. Just cool stuff. So yeah, also has this book. And the characters that I cannot read, which I always like looking at that stuff because it's fun because I can't even sound it out. So yeah, awesome stuff on here. Plenty of awesome tracks. I do like the track Oh Yeah Ooh La La, even though it isn't the one that I like the most. Still a good song. Party O'Clock's another good one. Unstoppable featuring Lil Wayne, another good track. Yeah, I really like this album a lot. It's good. If you like pop music, definitely recommend checking DeLuna out in general, but this album is in particular pretty good. Also her album 9 Lives. Good stuff. Cat DeLuna. Check out the Cat DeLuna, Inside Out. Alright, one more to go. This is a album that I've been waiting for like almost literally 4 months before I got it. Even did like a PayPal claim, and then she came back and said that, oh, it's, you know, I've had trouble with the factory or something. And then like 2 months later after that, I finally got it. So anyway, whatever. Let's get past that. This is Hollow Glow by Telle. This is an artist who I came across back when I was playing the video game Life is Strange, which I loved. She was the voice actor of the main character, Max Caulfield. And I came across randomly on Bandcamp that she had an album, and since I was fanboying out at the time, immediately bought it. Released 2016. It's kind of a interesting, cool, like, it's kind of a folky, alt-country kind of a thing going on. Indie rockish at times. I know, it's kind of cool. I don't super love it, but I know it's kind of cool. Enjoyable in a you know, trying something, listen to something new kind of way. Released 2016. Her voice is pretty cool too. It's not super amazing. I like how often she kind of goes for really high notes. I enjoy that. Came with a note. Travis, hope you have an awesome day. HRT. I'm not sure what her middle name is, but Telle, obviously. And then she signed it. Thank you, Travis. Sending you love. God bless you. Love Telle. And then on the disc also to Travis. Love Telle. So lots of just Telle signatures all over the place. I saw on Instagram that she may be doing something else new with music. I'll probably listen to it, see how it goes. I'm kind of still annoyed about the 4 months for getting an album, but whatever. So yep, actually pulled it off a little bit faster than I thought, which is great because I didn't want to give you guys like a 50, 60-minute video, so I was happy to get this under half an hour. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Check back tomorrow for the all cassette version of my collection update. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you're familiar with any of these releases, let me know what you think of them. And yeah, otherwise have a great day.